we can just jump right into programming tonight.
Yep, that'll be easy enough.
Perfect.
All right, so current programs is winter yoga right now. She still has 5 participants, and that'll end on the 18th of January. Her second session is going to start on the 25th, and that'll run through March 15th. We're going to go virtual with that as well. And then the goal is to look into seeing if there's either an option at the academy or somewhere else after that to go back in person. But we're hoping by March that we'll get indoor access to somewhere, but we'll see what happens. You never know.
Right.
It can't be at the Grange anymore when she wants to go back to in person. Is that where it was before?
We could do the Grange, but I guess the issue with there was concern over the entrance not being well lit enough. So the concern was like people falling or something happening when people exit the building.
Gotcha, because it's at night, yeah.
And then I guess there was also a few complaints over it wasn't hot enough in the building. It was too cold in there. So that's why they were looking to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. They can use the heat there because I'm renting that for overflow right now too, but you just have to have someone who's willing to get there a little bit earlier to turn it on. Once you turn it on, it definitely heats the place up. It's just if the person's arriving right before the class is starting, it might be chilly at first. I can see that.
Yeah, and I think the big thing was just the lights. They were afraid that someone might fall going out.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So the goal is to see, it's usually pretty unlikely, but reach out to the academy. Never really seem to have luck with them, but that was where we were going to try next.
Okay.
And then the other upcoming program is that virtual cooking class, and we're going to do the pasta making. So I talked to her after I spoke with you, and we're going to go with 8 and up is what she decided on.
Okay.
Is this Holly doing it or who is?
Yeah. Holly.
Oh, great.
So there was just like some kind of like, not sure like what age group to like target. And in the end, I think she's going to try like a mom and me like type pasta making class, but still have the age be like 8, 9, like and above, just because it is a little bit tedious. And like I said, it may not work. Like we really don't know because we've never done something like this before. I don't know how people are feeling about still being on Zoom when they're on Zoom so much, or they might be looking for things to do. But I feel as though if it doesn't stick, we should try like a different age group, like just keep trying. Because it has potential. It just might take a little bit to get it going, get people to show some interest.
Yeah.
Don't really know if it should have been like just marketed to adults. But when we talked about it before, we were talking about it in terms of like some like programming for kids, like more things for kids to do while there isn't sports right now. We'll see.
Yeah,
I think it's
I think so too.
I just worded it like as a family class. I figured that way if we do have somebody else that's interested, like just by themselves or maybe a dad or whatever, that it kind of opens it up to everybody.
Yep, I like it. I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, so she's going to do that on Thursday, January 28th, and it's going to go from 4 to 5:15.
Perfect.
So we'll see, hopefully the time, because that's the only other thing with it being early during the weekday, hopefully it won't be too big of an issue with people working.
Right.
And then her limit for that was we'll put 10 families was the max, is what she said will work best for the class.
And how is that working as far as what people need for ingredients? They get information ahead of time or like materials and things?
Yeah, exactly. So she'll send me the recipe and the ingredient list. I'll put it on there, and then it'll be their responsibility to get everything.
Okay.
We were going to put together like ingredient packets, but like I talked to Jay and he didn't want more people coming into the town hall. We figured that way it's difficult with all the contact, and then maybe someone forgets or doesn't come in time, and then you run into other problems like that.
Yeah, I definitely think let people get it on their own. Like they'll have plenty of time to plan for it and sign up and go to the grocery store or
Yeah.
Instacart.
And most of the stuff you'd already have on hand too.
Right. Perfect. I'm glad that we're branching out and trying it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's great.
we'll see how it goes. And like you
Yeah.
said, if it doesn't go, we'll just try a different age group and a different
Keep
time
trying.
and see if that works.
Yep. Great.
So then the only other thing we have on here for past programs is the lights contest. So we announced all those winners. The first place winner, we had an article in the Villager that just got posted last week. So that was kind of nice to kind of get it out there. We had 31, and then I talked to Greg today, and his suggestion was just to try to have a way of numbering the houses for next year. So either having like that green plaque on a mailbox or something, that way we know which house is which, because that was kind of one of their big issues. Sometimes they couldn't find what house they were trying to judge.
Okay.
And then his other suggestion was if we wanted to look into maybe doing like something for the daytime for those houses that don't do lights but do outdoor decorations. So that was another thing that he brought up today. And then talking to Jay, I think the idea would be for the rec commission and us to be the judges for next year is what they were looking for.
Okay. Sure.
But all pretty easy stuff. I mean, we had a pretty good showing this year. I'm sure it'll continue to grow, especially if we can pair it with the Winter Festival.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope that can happen next year. And I think that would be worth trying to do the gingerbread thing again next year if everything's actually happening in person, because people will be excited to come see them and it'll be such a different feel. So
Yeah, and I
They're
think
so
if we
up in
could
the
get it like
air,
in the
like-
shopper's guide too, that would help market it a little better.
yeah, it was just, we were so uncertain if we'd be able to make it work as far as could people come into the barn, how many people can, so it was easier to just call it and not do that. But I think with just seeing the amount of excitement for the lights contest, to have the gingerbread next year with the whole winter festival, hopefully that'll be great.
Yeah. And I think it'll help if we already have people there to kind of spark interest in people bringing a gingerbread house there as well.
Right.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
We'll see. Hopefully by then we'll be able to hold that event, but you never know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
So the only other thing that's a potential program is a senior movement class, and Thompson Rec reached out to me about that. I haven't heard back from Leslie about it, but they're going to do a couple of movement classes a week, and it would be a partnership with us and Thompson Rec.
So what would it be? Like they would be just dialing in virtually?
Yeah, it'd be a virtual class. And I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I think she said like twice a week. I can't remember all the details. But my only concern was just with seniors, it might be difficult running a virtual program.
So, couple concerns just off the top of my head are like who's assuming the liability for that if you're doing a virtual class with seniors and somebody falls or has an incident? Is it the instructor that you're employing that's carrying the liability, or is it like with the town? I know for us, we have been doing, like at the studio, I've been doing some senior classes, but to be honest with you, these are seniors that have been with me for like, the last minimum probably of 5 years. And I know them and they've been exercising with us for so long that they know the routines. So it's not as though they're seniors that are doing moves that are unfamiliar to them. I would just be a little bit concerned about seniors exercising on their own from home with no real supervision. as someone who's like instructing people that are on Zoom, it is very, very different than having people like in the room when it comes to like correcting form. I mean, we're still doing it, but it's just very different. I don't know. Those are just a few things that like quickly come to mind, but I don't really know what the class is or what the program would be.
Yeah, so I pulled up her email. She was still working on the details last time I talked to her, but what she proposed was a senior stretch and movement class, twice a week, 30 minutes for 4 to 6 weeks. And I guess she said, she didn't say who the instructor was. She just said that the cost was $65 an hour. So she was looking to charge between $10 and $20 for the class.
Okay. That's a lot for seniors.
Yeah, that was the other thing too, is that
Like,
seemed like
even on
kind of
a
a high
Zoom.
cost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for virtual, I feel like especially.
Totally. Like my, again, I only know what I know, but like my studio, I feel like is higher priced. Like it is more expensive. And we charge for our seniors for unlimited Zoom, which means they can take as many classes a week as they want. It's $69 for the whole month. But they might come to like 30 classes in a month. So it's like $3,
Yeah.
$2. So that just seems like it might be a little much. And I feel like that price for me is like more expensive, looked at as being like more expensive.
Yeah. So I could get more information out of her, but for me, it seemed like it probably almost wouldn't be worth it just because of the cost. And then, like you said, with liability, I don't know who's going to assume that.
Yeah, I think those are just questions to ask, like about that. I don't know. It just makes me a little bit leery. But then again, everyone has like online fitness, and I'm sure you don't even think about it when you sign up on the internet for things. So, maybe it's just being overly cautious.
Yeah, but it's what I can ask her. It's worth seeing what she kind of has planned out, because the last time we talked, it seemed like she was still thinking everything through and didn't really have a plan yet.
Right. And also, just so you know, $65 an hour to pay an instructor is like insane. That is like a lot of money. Like instructor at the YMCA teaching a class where I sit on the board makes like $18 or $20 an hour. So I don't know where the $65 an hour is coming from. I would love to make that.
Yeah, when I read that, I'm like, that seems very high for this type of class.
Yeah, maybe in New York City. And did you tell me that it was a 30-minute class?
Yeah, so twice a week, 30 minutes, 4 to 6 weeks.
That is very high.
Yeah, well, that's what it seemed like when I read it.
So I'd just be, not quite sure. Yep.
Must be some sort of celebrity instructor. We'll have to find out who
I
it
know.
is.
I mean, maybe, if you were personal training someone, you might get that like per hour, but for group exercise, that's just, I don't know. It's like unheard of.
Yeah, it seemed pretty high.
Yeah, it's high, really high.
And I feel like usually programs through a rec department are supposed to be more affordable,
Very
alternative for people,
Correct.
So
Correct.
kind of goes against what our like mission would be, like making things affordable for people and, that everyone can.
Yeah, it seemed more of like a private gym cost than a rec program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anthony, you sent an email today too about the thing from Michelle at the middle school.
Yeah, so it sounded like they were basically just looking for help marketing that book club that they're going to run.
Mm-hmm. I guess I was curious because I feel like most of we have the website and the Facebook page that you can post things on, but a lot of our way that we reach people is sending emails asking the school to send it out to everyone. So I don't know how much more helpful we are for them reaching the target audience. Like, I don't think there's any problem with us putting it on our page, but they're the ones who help us reach that same population usually. So was there anything else they were hoping for from us support wise, or was it just getting the word
I
out?
I didn't hear back from her. I can give her a call tomorrow to try to get more information, but from my understanding from her, it just seemed like they wanted help with marketing. But like you said, all the marketing I do is through the school, so I don't know how we'd help a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, the Facebook page and our website is probably, I guess, like just the town's website and our Facebook page. I don't know. I can't think of any other way we can really be helpful.
Yeah,
And if
'cause-
all they're looking for, I say go ahead and do it because at least it just makes it seem as though we've got one more thing that we're
Partnership.
doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's so few and far like between as far as the options.
Right. Yeah. It does make
Yeah.
it makes our department seem a little more active, I guess, that we have another something to.
Right.
yeah, it's easy enough for us to do. Just post it
Mhm.
on the website and Facebook, and I
Right.
can see if there's anything else that they need for help or that they're looking for. But that's kind of all I got out of it so far.
What you're- Okay. Yeah, I say go for it.
Yeah, that's why it's easy enough to do. So I will talk to her again, and I'll let you know if anything's different. But it just sounds like marketing right now is what they need help with.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you've thought of or that's crossed your desk?
That's kind of all we have right now. Tomorrow I have a recreation director meeting, so hopefully that'll help to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, that would be some good feedback. If you, sorry, that's my dogs acting ridiculous. If you get any good ideas, maybe you can email us if, you hear of anything. I imagine most rec departments are in the same boat as us, just kind of sitting tight. Unfortunately, our area is like a hotspot right now, and the numbers are just climbing. So I can't imagine people are really ramping up their programming. But it'd be good to
Other
see.
than virtually, we don't really have any indoor space, so that makes it even harder.
Yeah, I think everything has to be virtual. So high hopes for the cooking class.
We'll see. I'll put that up tomorrow, and I mean, I'm hoping that goes well. I would think it would.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anyone, there's all those like the painting classes now, they're offering those
I was
online.
thinking about that.
I'm wondering if we have someone local that would be interested in doing that for like the tween age or adults. We, both, like different separate ones. But because again, the younger kids, there's tons of library programs, and then it's that middle age of kids that are looking for something to do, and might be interested in like a board and paint type of class.
Yeah, I could reach out to the art teacher at the school and see if she would have either any interest or a contact that we can.
Yes.
Okay. I think that might be another good option for something virtual, because I keep seeing posts now for like, businesses offering stuff like that. And that kind of just popped into my head.
Right.
That might be a good option.
Yeah, and I think Pomfret just did like some rock painting class as well. So I know
Oh,
she does
nice.
a few art classes here and there.
Okay, that'd be cool. I know, I wish I had more ideas for you, but
Yeah, I've been scratching my head too. It's kind of tough, and it's tough with the virtual classes because with kids, on the computer all day, how much do they really want to be on the computer again for a rec program?
right. Well, that's why I think if it is a rec program, it just needs to be something really interactive, like where they're moving, like the cooking, it'll be more fast paced.
Yeah,
More
It'll-
fast.
it'll keep you busy in that class.
yeah. Something they're actually doing is, completely different from what they're doing for school. And
Correct. Yeah. So hopefully it'll work out.
We'll see. Just
All
gotta
right.
get through the winter.
That's right. We got to get to back to spring again. That's all. It's eyes on spring.
Jeff did reach out to me, and I think it's going to depend on what the academy says, but he was looking to run winter volleyball camps at the school.
This
Yeah.
winter?
This winter, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I would have to talk to Brad at the school, and I'll talk to Jay. I don't even know if that'd be possible on our end. I think it'd be kind of difficult, but I know Jeff called me a week or two ago and just expressed interest in running some type of winter volleyball camp.
Well, he works at the school. Can't he just use his own connections?
He tries to, but I think Brad prefers that he goes through us just since it's a rec
Okay.
program.
Gotcha. All right.
And it sounds like the last time I talked to Brad, it's just depends on what the CIAC says of when
Yeah.
winter sports can continue.
Well, that's supposed to be right now. That's through January 19th. So, because that's what I've been lumped into too. So just kind of waiting to hear.
Yeah, and that's the date
Imagine
he gave me.
anything's really going to change with it, but maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
numbers
I don't
getting
see
worse. I
it
don't-
Right. It's like I highly doubt that that's going away, but we shall see.
So that's the only other thing that's kind of a maybe and just depends on how everyone feels about it too.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, I think this meeting's short and sweet tonight because we just don't have a lot to
Yeah, not too much to talk about.
put on the table, you know? So I think we just got to keep thinking outside the box, and hopefully Anthony tomorrow having a chance to come together with all the other rec directors will, you know, maybe give you some fresh ideas that, you know, we haven't thought of.
Yeah, I'm hoping because really I'm more or less going off of like Pomfret and Thompson because Killingly's tough since they have the rec center and all those facilities that they can use, so they can do way more than we can.
Right. True. Very true. All right. Well, what are you thinking for the road race in May? Have you thought about that or not quite gotten there yet?
I thought about it a little bit and I think, I don't know. I mean, do we want to maybe look into the option of postponing it? I mean, I think it's kind of a wait and see, but I think
Right. I didn't know if you needed to be contacting like the timing company and that sort of thing, like as a tentative hold or no.
not yet. I think
Okay.
like late February
All right.
is when I did it last year. So I have a little bit of time.
Yep. My guy, you can't really see him. See him? See him? There he is.
There's a loud guy.
Yep, there he is. So noisy. All right, then I guess that's probably pretty much it for right now.
Yeah, and tomorrow I'll reach out to the art school teacher and see if she has any interest or any contacts, and I can go from there. And then I'll let you know what comes out of that meeting tomorrow too, if there's any ideas that we could use.
Great.
Great.
Sounds good. All right, well, I guess we'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:26. So sad.
We're just so efficient, you know.
I know we are. That's right. Yeah, you're the only other one.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.